The $150 billion a year disaster response industry is the largest unregulated industry in the world. All right, my name is Michael with HEAT, H-E-E-T. The $150 billion a year disaster response industry is the largest unregulated industry in the world. Lack of interoperability between stakeholders responding to crises drives the cost of every international response up by 60 to 80%. Our SaaS platform provides for the ability for stakeholders, governments, nonprofits, and for-profits to work together on a common goal and drive the cost of every response down. In the process, more importantly, saves lives. We're seeking $2 million in funding to harden our code to bring this platform to market with currently 12 for-profit, nonprofit, and government customers. I can be reached at info@goheat.com.
Now, let's break down today's pitch.
How long did you talk?
38.
51.
Damn.
What is this young man's name?
Michael Heat.
His name Michael Heat?
Michael with Heat.
Oh.
Close.
Yeah. The name of his company is? Say Heat really loud. There you go. What's behind that name?
It's an acronym. Everybody loves four-letter acronyms inside the Beltway in DC. So,
What's it mean?
Humanitarian Emergency Exchange Technology.
Cool. What is the problem that Heat is solving?
Coordination.
That's what they do. What's the pain?
Messed up. Not disaster relief.
Be more specific. That's what he said. Well, he put something else with it.
Efficiency. Efficient. Unregulated.
Loss of money.
Has to do with money.
Unregulated.
Yeah. The unregulated inefficiency causes the cost to be inflated by, what did you say, 50 to 80%?
60 to 80%.
There you go.
Is the norm.
So what should cost $1 million costs $2 million.
Right. Yep.
Okay. How does he solve it? SaaS.
I wasn't clear, like, what do you do? Like, do you
Exactly.
help with the communications? Do you help with the contract? Like, that wasn't clear to me.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
what's the solution exactly? Got it.
All right, we'll front that. So yes, SaaS platform that allows for interoperability, communications, sharing of resources between responding entities,
Yeah.
stakeholders.
So you're right. He wasn't specific, and that's okay. What he told us is it's SaaS. It's software as a service. How that works, that's the next meeting. You're not going to get in deep in the weeds on that right here. You just want to know. We assume, we don't know, but we assume that you have expertise and you've participated in this kind of government thing before, and that you've built a solution to help it.
Yep.
That's what we assume. Okay.
It might be helpful to tell them that you have to have a FEMA report.
Well, we're in the weeds there. That's inside baseball. But yeah. So yeah, so Deputy Director of FEMA's Board of Advisors.
Who pays him money?
Great question.
Government.
Our different departments,
NGOs, government.
for-profit, everybody.
So when you say everybody, give us an example.
So, NGOs, so non-governmental organizations, the Red Cross and the like, everybody responds to this. That's their business. Never let a good disaster go to waste. They pay different revenue streams. So either a subscription model, a user model, and then when disaster occurs, people move stuff around the world, invariably tents and purification equipment. We arrange for that and charge a percentage for the transfer of goods. And then also with the extinction companies or airlines or whoever the operates the conveyance, there's a
All right, so what I'm hearing is that in any disaster, so pick a disaster, tornado in South Georgia, and FEMA comes, GEMA comes, Red Cross comes,
National Guard.
the National Guard comes, and a couple of churches show up, and who says, log on here?
Essentially, everybody. So, well.
That's like saying, we're on Slack.
Yeah, okay.
Who? Somebody has to initiate. Who is the
If
initiator?
everybody says it, then nobody should.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Who takes the
So
lead?
the responding coordinating entity, so here in the US, it would be FEMA ultimately, or the state, it's a state responsibility. Regionally, depending upon how that works, and then internationally, where disaster management agency is.
Okay, so your primary is to whoever, GEMA in Georgia, FEMA for national stuff, they're the primary driver, and when somebody says, okay, we're going to go help, we need you, you, and you, sign on here, create an account or whatever here, right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you ask for?
$2 million.
What's he going to do with that $2 million?
Harden the code.
And?
Take the product to market.
Good. How can he improve his pitch? Sorry.
All right, that works.
No.
All right, who's got the bag of money?
So, I guess this depends on who the pitch is, like who in each organization is hearing the pitch.
Right.
Because whenever you said SaaS platform, my thought was like, man, depending on who you're talking to, that's just going to cause someone to be like, oh, I don't know what this is, and then they'll just shut down. So if it's someone in an organization that understands, knows exactly what SaaS is, and doesn't think like sassy, like whenever you say that, then sure. But I was thinking even maybe possibly even just removing that and just saying a software platform as well.
Yeah. Good advice. Depending upon who I'm actually talking to.
Yeah.
You never know if you're talking to an elevator.
Right.
So keep them more generic.
Yeah, you got to know your audience for your pitch, and there's a chance if you're developing your pitch for your business or startup or whatever, you're going to have 2 or 3 different audiences. You might have customers, you might have potential partners, potential investors, the general public, and you got to have your pitch ready to change for each one of those. Who else? What else you got? Yes.
I would say for what you're doing, what your company is, I feel like you could tell a really great story based on like how it was before your company existed, how there was so much chaos, and even just the communication of when you go to some natural disaster or whatever the scenario is. If you tell a story like this is what it did look like, this is what it looks like now when they use like this communication SaaS platform. I think that would. So I didn't understand the problem, which means it was tough for me to understand the solution.
Right.
But if you gave me like a full story of like this is what it was and now this is what it is now, I think I'd be able to understand a lot better.
Right. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Are you,
Fair enough.
you're open for business now?
We're in alpha, yeah, so
Do you have any success stories?
none that we can point to at the moment, but we're creating case studies.
Okay. Well, again, the story, maybe the creative.
Yeah.
Here's what happened, here's what could happen if you help me finish building this out. Because I got midway through the customer, it was like, okay, NGOs, nonprofits, and then I was suddenly thinking, well, is he talking about governmental entities? It was sort of a jump. I imagine there's a certain size organization that's going to use your services where they're moving a lot of logistics and stuff. So, nonprofits, I kind of naturally think sort of smaller in nature. So I was a little unsure there, and I had to stop during your talk to say, well, government's here. So,
All right, so all right, preface that by saying larger NGOs are over 50 million, but yeah, the storytelling aspect, I'm not
Yeah.
going to delegate for hours.
I think you could go give us a recent example, because disasters happen constantly. So you can, and this will, telling that this kind of story will demonstrate your expertise there. So in this disaster, I was there, I worked for blah blah blah. This is how I was there, and here's what happened, and this is why it cost whatever.
Can you get all that done in 30 seconds?
I think you can. You got to be tight. You got to practice. Sorry, here. But giving us, because we don't know who you are and why you. That's kind of the meat of the story. Because if you're going to sell to a big government entities like that, you got to know big government entities like that. And if there's a lot of different backgrounds that can put you smack dab in the middle of that. So that's who you are, and say, look, last time this happened, I was here, and here, and here's what happened. It was a disaster after the disaster, because it was so expensive and so silly to coordinate. So I built a solution to that.
Yeah, the storytelling aspect, obviously.
Yeah, it gives us context, it helps him understand what the problem is, because we all know the government's inefficient, but give us some real context.
Yeah, no, that'd be easy to do, and to your point, like, we could, talk forever, but,
Sure.
just, there's 20,000 extra pallets of water sitting on a runway down in Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Everybody, that's a
Great example.
That's-
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I really liked the numbers that you gave. I don't remember what they were.
You like it so much.
But I like that you put numbers in there. So I was gonna say before you said the 20,000 pallets or whatever, maybe to like, when you're talking about the billions of dollars or whatever it was, to just kind of slow down and like
Got it.
$70 billion or whatever. But now that the 20 billion pallets or whatever, I think that that's really good. It does paint a visual in our minds, but also I think numbers help, right?
Yeah. $151 billion.
151 billion.
And
That doesn't mean as much to me as water sitting on a tarmac.
I
can't relate to $150 billion. I never will.
But water going to waste on a tarmac for weeks and weeks.
With people who need fresh drinking water.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the epitome of government operations.
Yeah.
They're just completely inefficient.
So
Good.
we're here to solve.
Yep.
And if you could visualize that, like 20,000
20,000
pallets.
pallets, yeah.
So if you can like say the size of this room or whatever, like also give another visual, because 20,000 pallets of water, I don't really know what that means either.
It's the size of this block.
That's good. So 20,000 whatever the size of this block. I mean,
Thank you.
And I think your expertise helps a lot too. Like going back to what he was saying, I know what you do, and I know like he was basically is kind of the quarterback for Puerto Rico, the quarterback for Haiti. He's on the phone with the CEO of like Red Cross, telling them, hold on, hold that water, we've already got water. I mean, your expertise on that kind of stuff will sell this a lot more. And I think going back to having the director of FEMA on your board and pushing this, and that's the kind of the entity that's going to be pushing this out, it tells, hey, this is kind of coming from the top down versus we're trying to break into this industry. We're the players in the industry trying to get everybody on the same team because nobody's communicating.
Yeah.
I think that would be helpful.
This is the second meeting.